Hey guys, welcome to a new video of our Road to Doomsday series, and today we're going to be reviewing Iron Man 2. Today we're going to be looking at Iron Man 2. I just rewatched the movie, and I must say, overall, my thoughts on the movie improved. I watched the movie before and wasn't the biggest fan. Now I decided to look at it less critically, and overall I really enjoyed the movie a lot more. I had some fun with it. I also had some issues with it. I had some things I like, I had some things I didn't like, I had some things I just like, okay, it's whatever. So today I'm gonna look at the good things, the okay things, and the bad things. And I want to start off with talking about the good things. Starting off with, again, the best part about the movie, just like in Iron Man 1, and that is obviously Robert Downey Jr. He again did a fantastic job in portraying Tony Stark and Iron Man, and I really enjoyed the performance overall. He had a lot of fun scenes, I had a lot of fun watching the character, and despite some more writing issues towards the character in this movie, in my opinion, I still really enjoyed the performance. I really enjoyed Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, and yeah, he did a great job. And I think a lot of the other actors also did a good job. Like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, they introduced her in this movie, and I really liked the character. As a build up, it was a lot of fun to watch her. And well, I feel like she was a little more womanized in the movie. She still had some nice moments, some great scenes, like the hallway fight scene in the Justin Hammer building against all those guards. It was a great way to showcase her, what she can do, what she can do as a character. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. Another very good character in this movie was Sam Rockwell's Justin Hammer. Well, he wasn't the most badass character, let's say. It was also the best written. Sam Rockwell did a great job in acting out the character. I had a lot of fun watching him. He was just really brought a lot of charisma with him. And yeah, Sam Rockwell did a fantastic job. And another great actor or character in this movie was Don Cheadle's Rhodey. He did a great job in portraying the character. I really liked it. I preferred him over Terrence Howard's Rhodey. And overall, I had a lot of fun with it. Some very nice comedic timing, some nice portrayal of some serious scenes, and overall, he did a great job in portraying Rhodey. Another very fun part about this movie, in my opinion, was the action. Like the first Rhodey versus Tony fight. Well, Tony was drunk with the Iron Man versus the Iron Man Mark II suit. Was a lot of fun, in my opinion. Just some fun little action. And also really enjoyed the final battle with Tony versus War Machine and all the hammer drones. Was a lot of fun, in my opinion. And while some action didn't really connect for me, overall it was really solid. It was a lot of fun to watch. Another very good thing in this movie, in my opinion, was two scenes. The first scene is Whiplash and Tony talking after the Monaco fight in the little prison. That short little scene did a great job in portraying who Whiplash is supposed to be. The little monologue about making God bleed was very good, in my opinion. Some very nice writing. And another scene I really loved, the most beautiful scene in the movie, in my opinion, is Tony watching back his dad's old videos, with Howard also saying that Tony is his great creation. Up until that point, Tony had a lot of doubt about what his father thought about him, that his father didn't love him. And then he saw the video, saw what the father said, and he immediately got the motivation to create a new element. And yeah, overall, it was just a really beautiful scene. Now moving on to things that I wasn't just the biggest fan of, but I didn't like it or dislike it. It just happened. Starting off with my biggest, it was okay. Character, let's say, was Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts. I really enjoyed her in the first movie, but in this movie she just didn't do it for me. And it's not because of the acting performance by Gwyneth Paltrow. It's just the writing around the character. It was just a lot of screaming, a lot of arguments, and perhaps I'm looking at it the wrong way, but for me it just wasn't really enjoyable to watch. And while I didn't really outright dislike it, it was just fine, in my opinion. Another thing that I just thought was alright was the Monaco action sequence and race. For the most part, it was enjoyable. It had some nice moments. It also had a very good moment in Whiplash first appearance, let's say. by him attacking the F1 cars and attacking Tony for the first time. It also had a fantastic shoot-up moment with Iron Man, with Iron Man's suitcase, one of the best suit-up moments in the MCU in my opinion. But despite those two very good things, it also had some okay things. Well, it had some nice moments in the action. It also had some more meh moments in action, like Happy keeping on hitting Whiplash was fun, but he is supposed to be the big bad villain of the movie, and he's taken out pretty easily by just side character in the car, and then just a lot of screaming going on. Pepper just screaming, and Tony not really taking Whiplash seriously. Wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and again, didn't really make the most sense. Suddenly, Whiplash was in Monaco. He just started to aura for him. He took out 2 F1 cars or 3. Then he turned on Tony, and there was just. He turned around, and suddenly 2 or 3 F1 cars came around the corner. They steered away from Whiplash, and suddenly they just exploded to just give him an hour moment. And it was a pretty funny scene in my opinion. It just didn't make a lot of sense. So while, long story short, while overall liked the Monaco sequence and scenes, it also had some flaws in my opinion. It wasn't the best. Another okay scene about the movie was the involvement of S.H.I.E.L.D. and specifically Phil Coulson and Nick Fury. Overall, their involvement in the movie was just very good, but it was just very minimal. It was very small. So, well, I did really enjoy those 2 characters. I enjoyed the performance of both characters. It was just okay, even though I did enjoy it. Now moving on to the bad parts about the movie, and I want to start off by talking about how I personally thought the movie was a little bloated. They tried to push in a lot of stories and factors, like Tony being poisoned by the arc reactor in the chest, him fighting a new element, the issues with Army, the Justin Hammer storyline, his personal struggle with Pepper, the involvement of S.H.I.E.L.D., his personal struggles with Rhodey, Whiplash. They took a lot of things, they just pushed it on the movie. In my opinion, it felt a little bloated. Not everything had to put through time to flesh out every story. Some felt a little more justified, and some had a better ending than the others. And that's overall a part about the movie I didn't really like. They could have got some 1 or 2 storylines in my opinion, and just fleshed out the others a little more, and perhaps it would have made the movie a little more enjoyable. One issue I also had with the movie was some writing issues. If you look at the first Iron Man movie and then the second Iron Man movie, there's a huge difference in character arcs in my opinion. The first one we had more fleshed out. Obviously it was also an introduction. With this one they already had some established characters. But in my opinion it was just a little, everyone was just a little off. And some dialogue was a little wonky in my opinion. Not outright terrible, but just some wonky. Some characters had some questionable moments, including Black Widows. And well, I did enjoy the character overall. I understand that it's not meant to really be looked at in this way, but the character was a little sexualized, like the car scene where they were changing Happy, looking at it. I understand it's just supposed to be a funny joke, and well, a person didn't mind it. I think they just took Scarlett Johansson, took a little much of the sex appeal and just turned her a little too much into the just always a hot woman character. Well, they should have, yeah, just that. She was just a really decisive character. She had a lot of great moments. I really enjoyed it, but then she also had those moments, which in my opinion is just it was whatever. And now my biggest issue about the movie was Mickey Rourke's character, Ivan Vanko. Overall, I did enjoy Rourke's performance, but I just wasn't a big fan of the character. He started off really good in the movie with his father, and him designing the whiplashes, assigning that his own made arc reactor. He also had the scene in the prison with "You Can Make God Bleed." It was all just very good. He also had a very nice introduction in Monaco, but after that it all went downwards. he didn't feel like the big bad about this movie. He was pushed a lot to the side. If you have to believe the stories, a lot of scenes of him were cut. And yeah, he was just pushed to the side a lot. He didn't feel like that big bad in Iron Man 2. He was just a side villain, in my opinion. It felt like that. And he started off at the right beats, and then he just disappears from the movie. Tony didn't focus on him anymore. Rhodey didn't focus on him. Everyone thought he was dead, which overall isn't the biggest issue, but because of that, he also fell out of the movie a little. And then you had a really enjoyable final battle with Tony fighting War Machine and the drones. And then all of a sudden, Whiplash moves in, and he was just an Ironmonger remake. He was also an Iron Man suit, and it was just not original. They took the same beats as Iron Man 1, and because of that, the character fell flat. And well, again, Mickey Rourke did a very good job in portraying the character. The writing about the character itself really left a lot to be desired. Now, for my final thoughts about Iron Man 2, I must say I enjoyed the movie a lot more this time upon the rewatch. And despite its flaws and some questionable decisions, I did have a fun time watching the movie. And they are definitely not the best in the MCU, and it's definitely not in the middle of the MCU. It's more down to the bottom. I had a lot of fun time, and if you just casual watch the movie, I understand why a lot of people will enjoy it, because at the end of the day, despite its flaws, it is just a dumb action movie. The humor landed a lot of the times. The action, for the most part, was pretty good, and yeah, I feel like this movie, I wouldn't necessarily say is overhated. I feel like a lot of it is justified. I also do think the movie isn't as terrible as everyone thinks. I think in the grand scheme of everything, it definitely isn't up there about good movies. Also not about the middle movies, but it also isn't as terrible as everyone says. I would say this is a 2.5 star out of the 5 stars. Anyways, thank you for watching my review about Iron Man 2. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys next time.